Maybe Jeff and Willem, you can both also give a bit of a kind of a broad production outlook view. Maybe Jeff, you could kick off.
From a production viewpoint, or if we're talking about
production? Just what do you think is going to happen with production? I guess maybe specifically with India. In your case, it's a major sourcing point for you.
Listening to Robbins and Jim, it basically validates what you and I had talked about earlier, that production, while it's going to be down, may not be down as much as what people have been expecting or what a lot of the talk is. And the real question is production going to be down sufficiently to offset the demand drop? And from our perspective, we're not seeing that. We're not seeing that happening. India has been producing shrimp pretty steadily for us. However, what we've had this dichotomy develop where we have an abundance of headless shrimp that's focused on food service business, which obviously doesn't really exist that much, and a shortage of value-added goods as a result of the labor issues in India. So we're seeing two markets having developed, one long and one short.
Interesting.
I don't see that we have any clear picture of what's going to happen, because nobody has a clear picture of what's going to happen with COVID going forward. There is no real indication that the food service business is going to pick up anytime. In fact, what a little we're worried about now that hasn't been talked about a lot is that a lot of the American food service business, and I know you want to talk about production, but I'm going there. A lot of the American food service business has been based on outdoor dining with a reduced indoor dining. So as we come into cold seasons here, we don't know what that's going to do. But you would think it's going to drop the amount of food service demand even further. Initially, what we saw in terms of production was the Indians were loaded with orders, as they usually are, as we're coming into the summer. They were filling orders that came through as when COVID started until they got began to see a lot of cases, and the labor issue became the real story. So for us, over the last 20 or 30 years, the market's been basically driven by raw material supply. The demand has been growing steadily, and you see the ups and downs, like Robbins referred to, or with EMS and so forth. You have a pretty clear picture of what's going to happen, because it's kind of one-dimensional. Your demand is going to remain, and your supply is going to drop. You don't know how much. Right now, what we've got two commodities. We've got a raw material, which is predicted to be down, but we don't think that much. And you have a labor supply, which is down quite a bit. So what that results in is, as I said, is two markets. We're going to have a real shortage of product coming out of India to cover the retail business. We've heard stories in the last 4 or 5 days of small packers or packers that are not FDA approved, packing shrimp to sell to larger packers who are putting it away to peel later, presuming they're able to get the labor in, which they're not getting in right now. So, India's become two supply markets, just like the U.S. has become two demand markets.